Parysatis, and Achaemenid, great-great-granddaughter of Cyrus the Great, founder of the Persian Empire in the year 550 BC. I lived for 60 years, a queen to the great King Darius and queen mother to King Artaxerxes. In its day, my empire was history's greatest, lasting more than 200 years. To listen to the Greeks is to believe I wallowed in cruelty, took delight in revenge, and was consumed by a feverish lust for power, which I pursued with ruthless and bloodthirsty devotion to myself alone.
The Greeks were a small set of states, Athens, Sparta, who had a culture that made them feel superior to everyone else. They considered the Persians barbarians and basically hated them. Parysatis is a complex character. Only bits and pieces of her life are known in the historical accounts, all of which are by the Greeks, and none of them are very nice.
I will give brief account. Enough, I pray, to correct the oceans of falsehood they spilled across the pages of history.
Everything that the Greeks claimed to be a fact, I have accepted in this novel. And I filled in the many, many, many missing pieces of the puzzle of her life through my imagination.
I became the empire's queen in my 21st year. Queen I would remain for the next 19 years until my husband's death at the young age of 39.
History teaches that Parysatis became the queen of Persia. It does not tell us how she got there. There is no historical account of how her stepbrother lasted only about 45 days on the throne.
He seemed to tower over me. I could see the lasting glint in his eyes just before he crashed down on top of me.
The way in which he dies at the hand of Parysatis, who kills him with her knife while he's trying to rape her, is purely my imagination.
Reaching above, I pulled the blade down, hilt deep into his lower back. Hot blood drenched my hands. I felt it pouring down the side of my body. Moments later, the great king was dead.
In the Persian Empire, unlike most empires, women wielded immense power. Probably more power than in any other royal family except possibly the royal families of England. She was queen mother. She bore 15 children, only 4 of whom survived their 3rd year. She poisoned her daughter-in-law, who at the time was queen. She was torn apart by the greatest civil war between her 2 sons that had ever been seen up to that time, and it really interested me as to how she dealt with such a fraught situation. Who would she support and why? These are questions which are not answered in history. I felt compelled to try as a writer to answer them.
For my part, having lost so many infants over the years, and now having lost my only healthy daughter to a vicious and clumsy murder, my rage knew no bounds. The family would be tortured, one by one, beginning with the youngest. Those remaining would be compelled to watch until their turns came.
The irony of her story, as I conceive it, was that she did all these wicked things to perpetuate the empire. And yet, soon after she died, Alexander the Great came along and destroyed the empire totally.
Of course, no one can claim a life of perfection, but mine was badly askew. Overweighted with the pursuit and use of power, underweighted with the practice of tolerance, compassion, and kindness.
I wanted the challenge of trying to write about a great woman in the first person. And I not only wrote about her in the first person, but I wrote about her in 2 voices. One, the voice of her life as she was leading it, living it, and the second, a voice of a shade returning to look back on her life and comment upon it.
But now it was too late to try for balance. I invite you to judge whether mine was a life worthy of this effort to explain, whether in the end it was a life important enough to be remembered.